screen.
I'll tell you in a second. Hang on.
Error. Something went wrong. Refresh your page and try again.
Hang on. We're live on YouTube.
Are we?
Mm-hmm.
Holy Jesus.
Let me just...
Yeah, we're live on YouTube. I've got it popped up here.
Are we all on it?
Yes, we are.
Went wrong.
Yes.
Hang on, Gary, can you
you
just do
are.
your Hare Krishna head? I'll be able to tell you if I can see it. We're live on YouTube. Yeah, it worked.
Oh, cool. All right, can I get you to
Oh,
share
so-
the link on the...
That was my question. You were saying about, keeping the vibes up in the houses when... What if we did investigations at Christmas times and carried like 3 or 4 Hare Krishnas with us? How can you be depressed while they're doing the music?
Well, technically speaking, you're on something, right? Like, because Christmas
Me?
music always cheers me up.
No. And Gary can attest to this, and so can Lynn. Mariah Carey Christmas music does not cheer anyone up. It makes me want to drive my
No,
car off a
Lynn
bridge.
hates that.
F-
Lynn
MJ.
hates it.
MC.
Well, you leave MJ out of this. He is an absolute phenomenon.
I meant to say
Michael-
MC.
Michael Jackson was an entertainer.
Yes, and I was very upset when he passed away.
Turned white. Oh. What?
Wow.
Let's be honest. Young Michael was great.
Yeah,
He was.
I agree with that.
And what now that he decided, because apparently he had a skin issue,
I'm pretty sure he decided
Yeah,
but
it was to make himself look like his favorite person.
Diana.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm serious.
But I think after Thriller, I would say Thriller was that all that skin stuff was happening, right?
You're telling a story.
I don't know. Hang on, let me just pull up another page. Sorry.
I believe
This is the start bit where everybody... We haven't got anybody in chat yet. That's why I wanted to
I
run
mean,
another
because
page.
I don't think we shared anything.
Did
Like,
we?
you're talking like pre-1995 Michael Jackson.
I mean, not for nothing, but I think his best music came out during the 90s.
Oh, it did. You got They Don't Care About Us. Amazing song.
Oh yeah.
Except he actually had to change that song because it wasn't allowed to be played on air, and he actually pretty sure he got sued.
So I believe they changed the name to Come Together.
Yes,
All I really want to say, they don't really care about us.
because there was certain groups of people that were mentioned about holding people down, and they didn't like it.
Hang on, let me just... Sorry. You can keep talking. I'm
Yeah.
making sure everything's going all right from my end.
Yeah, I'm doing the same.
Uh,
All right.
Yeah, because so he got in trouble because it said, "Beat me, hate me, you can never break me. Will me, thrill me, you can never kill me. Jew me, sue me, everybody do me." Because he had "Jew me" in there, followed by "sue me." He couldn't. He had to change the lyrics, and then he had to write an apology, and then he ended up singing the same lyrics again anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's
Hmm.
not... Have you shared it in the Wapper page yet?
I don't have Facebook.
Oh, shit, that's right.
That's what I said.
It's me waiting for you. Yeah, I remember you
I'm
said
going-
that. Yeah.
I'm going,
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now.
We got 4
Oh,
people
Fernando's
watching.
doing it.
We
Fernando's
got 4
doing it.
people.
Have we?
It says 4 people watching now. Hello to whoever's out there.
I need to check out my shit properly.
Surprise.
Oh, there we go. Suddenly demonetized for saying the S word.
No, we're good. We're 4 minutes in.
Ah,
Oh, well, we'll see if anybody comes into the chat in a bit anyway.
3
So-
watching. No, we lost 1 because Gary said shit.
The problem is when we're going live, we always choose to do it sort of last minute kind of thing. And I did put a post up earlier on today saying that we were going to go live. And there's 7 or 8 people have seen it, but it's usually only the people that are subscribed to us that actually know about it because they get the...
This will get viewers. It's a cat.
right. I put it up on the Wapper.
It looks like his left hand. It looks like he's giving everyone the bird from here.
It does, doesn't it? See, it's a universal language, that one.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Where's Fernando's action man?
Oh, shit. I shouldn't have done that. We're down to 2 people now.
These are supposed to bring good things in, aren't they?
Well, I don't know what's going on. Hang on. Let me just do a refresh.
Oh, geez. we should find out where we can get ones made for us, especially.
I have it in the garage. I got one.
Hello,
of Stranger's
MJ.
Minds.
You've got it. Is there a website?
There is. I would have to talk to Vanessa about it because she's the one that actually got it for me.
Yes.
So
we could
I
make
will-
3
Wow,
limited editions.
even MJ retracted her message. What's going on tonight? We're just going backwards.
They don't really care about us. What's on tonight? Hopefully the viewers and some laughs.
I don't know what's going on because it's not popping up in my chat, so I can't.
On the chat it says MJ wrote evening. What's on tonight? And then we started popping out with all of our.
It should be hopefully coming
figurines.
through.
And it just drove everybody away.
Yeah.
So
Hi,
Funko-
MJ. How are you? Good to have you with us. Hopefully, more people will pop in a little bit. We're up to 3 now. We
Okay, so Funko, you can actually make your own. Customize my pop. You get granddad.
apparently
put
Dion
tits
was
on
having a
it.
nana nap.
Oh,
And I'm
they don't-
sorry if your things aren't popping up on the live stream because the text isn't coming through yet. So I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully, it all comes through a bit, and it's just a bit late.
I was hoping that you'd be able to make packs of like 3. They only offer you a 2-pack to make of yourself. Pop yourself 2 packs. No, I don't want a 2-pack. I want a 3-pack.
Huh?
With the Funko Pop vinyls.
What are
You can
they?
either get.
I'm gonna
do
see
you
if I
want
can
to show?
try and get it for you guys
do
next
it.
week.
Just show, just show him your pop vinyl. Gary doesn't know what it is.
Italian.
There.
Oh.
Little figurines. You can make them in a 1-pack or a 2-pack. A 3-pack would be amazing.
Is that supposed to be Fernando?
No, Fernando's.
No,
Fernando's got a
I do
Stranger's
have
Mind
one of Stranger's Minds, and it looks like me with the camera, glasses. Oh, Vanessa did a great job.
But
It
that'd
was
be
a
amazing to
Christmas
get
present.
3 of us as a little order 3
Hey, no.
sets of them.
We're up to
Order-
6.
If we were to order 3 sets of them and have 1 each
Yes, that is
as a
Assassin's
shadow
Creed
as a shadow
Ezio.
files.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I don't know how much it's going to cost. I'm looking.
Let's have a look. So,
I have
how
a
is
question for
everybody
you guys
tonight?
out there in
What's
Australia.
been going on out there in your world?
Well,
We've had
Gary's
some
got no
interesting.
hair.
What's that?
I'm
Nah,
just
I'm
looking through. I'm
vegan.
like, Gary's got no hair, so that's right.
I
have
have
a
a
little
question
bit
for you
down here,
guys
though.
out there in Australia.
Hmm.
Is the Labubu going as crazy out there than it is over here?
What?
That was a labubu.
Oh my god, you guys are so great. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you what's a Labubu, but
That just sounds so wrong. That
it's basically a small doll that's going popular as hell, like Elmo. When it came out.
Yes. I've seen them. They're everywhere.
Okay.
Don't show us your labubu.
LABUBU.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dion. I've got no
That,
idea.
they're just they're.
That is going
Wish I
so
knew what was
crazy
going on
right
with
now.
the chat, though. You're not popping up in the live chat.
They look like a demonic child wearing a bear's outfit. What?
That is a perfect description.
They're like a demonic child wearing an animal outfit. That's exactly what it looks like.
Hang on.
That is. a
I'm still
perfect
trying to sort out
description.
this chat so everything comes through.
Hey Gary, in great news though, how was the game 2, Queensland?
We were lucky it didn't go for another 5 minutes.
Yes, we were. But whether it's 2 points or 20 points, a win's a win.
That's it. 100%. 100%.
Did
So
you
we're
read
going to
what
talk.
Mark wrote?
We are going to talk some paranormally stuff tonight because we've had a few things going on. Yeah. First
You
up,
guys- Oh, sorry.
no, I was going to say first up. You all know that if you watch the Yowie video that we're friends with Nathan from the Scare Crew Paranormal. If you go on over to their YouTube page, he's got a EVP from an investigation that he went on last weekend, and it's definitely worth checking out because it's one of the best EVPs I've ever heard.
That's actually really good.
It is. It's a class A EVP, and it absolutely blew our mind. And he actually put it up on his YouTube thing, and he sent me a message. He goes, "It's got 17 hits." He was so excited. I sent him a message yesterday saying it's got 600 hits. Sorry, it's got 300 hits now, and he just sent me a message just earlier tonight saying it's now over 600.
Oh wow!
So it's
nice.
definitely one that you should all be checking out. So look up Scare Crew Paranormal. It's like a yellow and orange scarecrow kind of thing. When you type scare, there's a dot between each of them, and then crew is crew. And if you haven't seen it by the end of this, I'll actually share a link to it in the Wapper page, so you can go and have a listen to this video because it is absolutely mind blowing. Now, in it, I actually, because he asked me to have a look at it, and I boosted the bits of interest. I will actually do another edit of it at some point with the original audio, and then I will do the boosted bits after that, so that you can see where it fit into the actual videos. But it's interesting. Louise Marie, hello. That's a new name. We haven't seen that one before, or have we? I don't know.
Evening, good evening.
Where did it go? Where did this go?
Mike was going to watch Jaws tonight, but he found us instead. So I don't know if you're better off.
Look, I would have stuck with Jaws, to be honest.
We can all go if you want, but
How?
yeah, that was pretty bad.
How?
But yeah, where I was going to go to is, tell us about some of your paranormal stories and things like that have happened in the chat. And it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, the chat is not working properly, as it's working on YouTube, but it's not coming through on our interface here. So unless they're all going to come through all at once, I'm not sure. I don't want to end this and then start again because it did say something went wrong.
No,
and I don't want to mess with things at the moment if everything is working.
There's like a 5-minute delay on YouTube, but it's good.
Oh, there's always a delay. We can't do anything about that. But yeah, we are going to start getting into some ghosty talk and things like that. Now, earlier tonight, I had a phone call from a friend of mine who I haven't seen in many, many years. And I was just talking with the guys about it. And he's got some very strange things happening at his house. So we will be going out there sometime over the next couple of days and seeing what we can get. But he's got the old hag hanging around, and he's got some poltergeist activity happening there, as well as a few other things. But I'm not going to go any further into it than that. But it's very interesting stuff. And, we love this ghost talk. And we do a little bit of everything here. So sometimes we step away from the ghost for a little bit and we talk conspiracies or other things. But it's always good to come back onto the old paranormal topic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Very quiet, people. Very quiet.
Very quiet. Sorry, I'm preoccupied at the same time. This is actually quite interesting because I've made it look like someone.
Mark S. said he's missed watching us guys live. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, after
That's
we
cute.
took that 1 month hiatus, traveling,
Hiatus. Did you say hiatus?
Not hiatus.
say?
Hiatus.
I know what the word is,
I
but
think
it sounded to me like you were
hiatus
talking about
is when you bum. Hiatus is when you
What did I
Yeah,
say?
was sticking your bum in the air, man.
You said hiatus. So like what? The booty's up here, head's
Yeah.
down here.
Head
Oh,
No, I
where you
down,
been,
bum
Matt?
No, I didn't.
Where have you been? I've been on a hiatus.
Oh man. Oh, we've lost him.
No,
You
I
can just see
didn't.
the top of
No,
his
I
hat.
didn't. Did I?
You
Oh,
did.
You
You did. We're gonna
You
go
can
back
play
on
it
this
back.
now.
We're recording, man. You
Oh
play.
man,
You can
did
play
I?
it back.
Hey,
One, we get the
hey, you
view
guys
for
in
it.
the chat,
Two,
did
you
I
get to
say
see.
hi anus?
Mm,
You just did it again. We are all class here. Thank you, MJ.
Oh
See,
my God.
class chat we have definitely talking
Nah,
about
what
high
I
level
was trying to
bottoms.
say is that our time off, it was like a whole month that we didn't record anything, and that was the longest month ever.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you guys. I did say hi anus.
hmm
What? Don't believe us?
I mean, I
That was
believe
a
you guys
no.
now.
That
I
was a
believe you
no.
guys now. Thanks, Mark.
No,
I
you
believe you
believe
guys.
us.
But yeah, it was a
Dion
long
said, "Did you
month.
try Timu?
For what?
What? Timu freebies? Oh, did you get your Timu
Oh
freebies?
no, it's the biggest scam. Not happy with them.
I've had some from them.
Yeah, but this was like, hey, you get invite this many people, and it's like 0.5, 0.3, 0.1. It's like no.
Oh no, I've not done that. But when you buy stuff, they like to
Oh yeah, that's different.
and
Yeah,
throw you some free shit just to get you
appease
to
you.
buy more stuff. But
No,
yeah,
I mean, the way they do that, it's that like
rude.
they make you kind of want to keep on buying stuff, and and then oh, if you get an extra $3 purchase, you get so and so, and I mean, it's a good way, I guess, for a company to make money because
mm,
Mm.
I don't like it because you have to go through that spinny wheel and all that other stuff. MJ's on heinous.
sorry
And
guys.
Louise, do you know Louise Marie?
I didn't. Yeah,
She said,
think
"I can't
so.
believe you sent it out to all your friends."
I don't have many friends.
No,
I believe
that,
she was talking to me.
oh,
I'm gonna send Fernando a Labubu doll.
Oh, I highly doubt you could find
Why?
it because here in the States, it is out of stock everywhere.
Let's have a look.
It is out of stock.
As soon as you
It
mentioned
started
that
off.
Boo Boo doll, we've lost somebody who was watching.
It started off like one of these little tiny toys that you could get for like, I don't know, $5.
Holy shit!
And now they're like
For how
over
how
100
much?
for like $5 when it first started, and now it's like over 100.
Yeah, there's one here. It's $108.
Yeah.
That's Australian, so it's probably about $60 American, $50 American. And there's limits on how many you can buy. This thing literally looks like like a Chucky doll with teeth that's hybrid crossed with a rabbit crossed with a
100%
bear.
MJ. Oh, talk about your high anus. I've got a sore anus. Oh, that sounded wrong. No.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Okay.
Sat in a seat all day at work, and then
Gary.
I'm going to give up now. I'm just going to shut up.
What did I start today?
Yeah, Fugglers are
What did
amazing.
I
That's what
start
Peyton's got.
today?
I don't want
Oh
to
my
ask any more
God.
questions than that because that just sounds dodgy.
No, the Fugglers are those weird teddies with the teeth.
Oh my God. No.
Seen how old I am? How long has it been since I've seen her?
What, teeth?
Yeah.
We're all over the place today, you guys. We started off with
I keep trying to talk
high
about
anus,
ghosts and stuff,
short
and you guys
anus,
just get right into all
ghost,
sorts of weird stuff.
boo-boos. Like
Anyway, are we gonna actually talk about something ghosty?
yes, we are. We're gonna talk about
Sure.
ghostly stuff. Oh, by the way, my trip to Savannah, Georgia. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing freaking place. I cannot wait to go through everything I got there and start putting it out for all to see.
So did you witness anything when you were there?
You know what? Vanessa had an experience at a house that we went to. It is the Andrew Lode house. I'm sorry. I still haven't technically organized all of my stuff because we did so much. The Andrew Lowe house. Man, we went to so many places. It's amazing. Let's put this up there for you guys. Andrew Lowe house.
Self-guided tour.
Yes, we did the self-guided tour, of course. And then there was actually a situation, not a situation, but there was a moment where we were left alone in the second floor of this house.
Who would leave you alone?
They had no idea what they did. I busted on
I know.
my voice recorder. I busted on my voice recorder camera. But anyway, Vanessa was walking around and she felt as though something rubbed like her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we finished everything, we went downstairs. We started talking to these great, awesome people downstairs that worked there. Oh
Yep.
man.
Did you read
anyway.
MJ's last message?
Funny story, my dog got a fiber and I literally found random tooth and thought someone they got buttholes.
What?
Yeah, it's a little buttonhole.
Butthole.
Are you guys
Oh,
talking
It's just
about
it's
the
just-
boo-boo?
No, the Fugglers.
I have no idea what that is.
Mm.
Google it. Fuggler.
So how did you go? How did you go pulling out your gear in? Oh, no, that sounded wrong.
Wow.
You're,
First my butt sore. Now he's pulling out his
What
gear.
is going on,
In
Gary?
Savannah, bloody hell! Get your mind out the gutter, guys.
If there was no
when you-
gutter, my mom would have nowhere to live.
No,
on the
but
on the self-guided tour.
Self-guided
no,
what?
I mean,
The self-guided
the-
tour he was on.
I was in Savannah, Georgia, you guys. Like, if you guys look up Savannah, Georgia, it is the most haunted city in the United States.
I thought Gettysburg was supposed to be the most haunted.
We're talking about city. It's a whole city haunted.
Yeah. I know.
And
I've heard of
everywhere-
Savannah and whatever.
Yeah. So,
But where I'm getting at is, you pulled your voice recorder and stuff out when you were doing a self-guided tour. Was anybody else there? Or was it just you and Vanessa?
on the second floor for that moment, because there was people there going in, joining the tour. But since we did the self-guided tour, there was a moment
Yeah.
when a bunch of people just left downstairs because their tour ended, and we were upstairs by ourselves for like a good 10-15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But about the voice recorder, Gary, I was in Savannah, Georgia. The second I left the hotel, that was in my pocket.
Yeah, but where I was going is, did anybody see you doing anything and ask what you were?
I mean, there was cameras all over the
That's
place.
so
but
wrong.
it's-
People who are listening to this can think it can go in two different directions. And ask their own stuff.
Well, I'm keeping
People
it
saw what you were
on-
doing and asked
I'm
questions
keeping
about
on
it.
the line, Gary. I'm keeping it on the line.
I'm on the line. It's just people's minds are taking it elsewhere. Reason I'm saying that is because for anybody who's here from yes, Dion, getting off track is what we do best.
That's what we do. We're best at.
We're aficionados in that.
So, Gary, actually getting off track, Gary, go check your Discord message.
Discord. Geez, I haven't opened that in
your
my-
inbox.
Anyway,
What's the history there, Fernando?
No, it's basically. Oh man,
isn't that part of the Underground Railway and everything?
almost a bunch of these houses were part of the horrific slave trade era. A lot of death, a lot of murders. There was fires. There was diseases. Like most of this area, we went to places. We ate at restaurants where back in the day it used to be like a tavern in a way. So people got shanghaied. It's amazing, but
I've just seen the pictures.
It looks like you.
You got to make the glasses green, man. Make the
Can't-
glasses
I
green.
tried.
oh wait,
Fernando's got no idea what's going on.
No. You made Gary into one of these. I'm pointing it right there. Ugh.
Yeah, we can't see it.
What's in my hand? It looked like a gun. That sounded wrong.
No,
as well.
it's a camera and a laptop.
Going totally off.
Gary, it's just you, Gary. Just you.
Me.
There you go, Fernando. If you feel left out, I've sent that through. It's a
Oh,
laptop and a camera.
Dude, that is
It
so
looks like
cool.
a gun. It doesn't look like a laptop
The-
camera.
They need to do 3 packs, man.
That is so cool. Can I show it?
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
Hey, you guys, I would buy one.
Yes,
That's so
80
cool.
HD Live, yes.
But yeah, what was cool about the experience on the second floor of the Load House was when Vanessa was telling me that something rubbed her shoulder. When we were leaving, we were talking with the people that works there downstairs, and then the gentleman that works there was telling me of a story of how somebody experienced the same thing. So it
Mhm.
was, it was an awesome experience. That whole
See, for
entire
me, when you were talking about you're in a public place like that and you pull your gear out, we we did. Lynn and I went on one of those torchlight
Look,
tours
are
at
you sure you want to
Fremantle.
continue this?
At
Getting your gear out,
Fremantle
Lim was
Prison.
there.
We went on a torchlight tour at Fremantle Prison, and I happened to have the EMF meter in my pocket. And as we started, I think I pulled it out of my pocket when we got to the the solitary confinement cells just outside of where the gallows are.
what
Yeah.
did you pull out from your
And
pocket, Gary? What did you pull out?
His toy.
my EMF meter, it flashed. Yeah, and
It was buzzing.
But well, put it this way, right? The guy, we went into the gallows. The guy started telling his stories, and I've got the K2, and it starts flickering and it's going off and everything, and everybody saw the flashing lights and they're like, "What's that? What's that?" I ended up with more people watching the K2 than what were actually listening to the guy telling the stories. And he actually turned around and goes, "Can you please put that away?" We got
So
told off.
he whipped it out and got told to put it away.
We got told off. So I put it in my pocket, back in my pocket, and then we walked into the main, into Division 4, which is the lifer wing, where all the serious guys were.
You can go to jail for that.
And
We'll
somebody,
pick it out.
we're already in jail. And somebody, one of the people turned around and said, "Can you pull it out again?"
Dion, it winked at Lynn. Wow.
Yes. Anyway, the guys asked us to pull it out again. So I did.
And that's when Gary spent life in prison.
It started flashing. It started flashing again, and
Shoot.
this tubby fella that was telling the story, somebody goes, "I've asked you once, can you please put that away? You're being disruptive to the tour." I got seriously told off on a tour that I actually paid to go on.
Yeah, but it's not the first time you've had a EMF meter at that place.
No, we've done 2 actual overnight investigations in there. So
that's great.
it's a good place, but I don't think it's anywhere near as active as what everybody makes it out to be.
Oh man,
I think it's a stigma behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been down into the tunnels underneath, so I've not done anything down there. With the amount of limestone and everything down there, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of high EMF down there.
Let's do a tunnel tour then. I'm keen.
Yeah, but I'm not taking all my gear on one of those rickety little bloody boats.
Just as long as you just don't whip it out in the tunnel, we're good.
Put the boat off.
Helicopter.
oh man.
We found our people. Luis appears to be one of our people.
Mm.
So yeah, when have you flopped it out of your pocket at a public location?
That question is for who?
You.
Me.
Where else?
Wait. Where else did I?
Restrooms, movie theaters.
Waste my floppy disk. What?
Restrooms, movie theaters, cars.
Paranormal investigation gear. When have you used it?
Your dowsing rod.
I actually am looking into getting dowsing rods. I don't have. I don't have some. You see, it's because when I came here to Florida, my team stayed back in New York, so I'm doing fresh. So, but
So you
When
abandoned
I
the team.
do tours in certain haunted locations, I do walk around with an EMF and a voice recorder.
Jez
And the
can
best,
answer that one.
yeah,
Hmm.
and it doesn't matter where I go. If it's a tour, I mean, I would love to stay, but sometimes these places don't do, self investigation unless you have like
I
a
knew what you were
television.
going to say.
Wow.
Sorry, hang on. I'm going to choke myself in a sec.
Lots of places won't let you do self-investigation.
Oh,
Whoa! Whoa!
Nick,
Dude!
what the hell happened there?
We just lost 8 people.
I can imagine. Holy shit. That wasn't supposed to happen. Down.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hang on. I've got to wait until it does its little. There it does its flashy thing.
Yeah, I think you just did a
That
flashy
goes
thing.
off it.
Wow.
I did not know it was going to go there. I'm just glad I wasn't sat here in my jocks.
I'll say, what do you
Sorry.
do in your spare time?
Sorry, guys, that usually doesn't happen. I think.
No,
And it
does
just
not.
showed it on YouTube.
It did.
just
And
went
we've
live.
now got, we've got 8 more viewers now.
Hey, look at that.
Mark, it's speechless. Wow. His
wasn't
camera was
hanging out.
possessed.
Look at the comments going now.
That was perfect timing.
It was not intentional. I can tell you that right up.
Well, if that's going to get views, Gary, I'll just sit here in my jocks.
Oh man.
I've got a video. I've got a video of the very first podcast that Jeremy and
That
I
wasn't jocks. Wow.
with
That
his
was
pineapple
shorts.
with his pineapple shorts on.
Apparently, the nurses' quarter at Freo are most active, as MJ has said.
Oh man.
Nurses'
Apparently the
quarters at
nurses'
Freo.
quarters at Freo.
Hmm.
I can't think which one that one is.
The infirmary or the nurses' quarters? You'd think the infirmary would be.
I don't know. I don't know.
Let's be honest, though, you'd think that the kitchen would be fairly active as well.
Kitchen is. We did the Gansfeld experiment there years and years and years ago, and I was blown away. And that obviously anybody that knows paranormal knows that the Gansfeld is the predecessor to what's now called the Estes method. It's a bit different, but it's basically the same thing: a sensory deprivation and able to lift the person's psychic abilities a little bit. So it was really interesting there. So, but it does differ from the Estes method, because with the Estes method you use one of those apps, the talkie apps, so you're picking up voices and things like that. So you're just blurting out what you hear on the headphones, and you've got a blindfold on. Whereas with the Estes method, it's just pure white noise that's going, and it's really loud. And you cut a ping pong ball in half, and you sticky tape it on, so you end up looking like something out of The Simpsons. And what you do is then you set the torch in front, shining right back into your face, so everything has this white glow or orange glow, depending on which color ping pong balls you're using. And then you start your session. Now, what you find will happen is, and what we found started happening was, you start hearing voices and sounds in the white noise. So it's not a voice generator or anything like that. It's actual noises in the white noise. So we get the person to describe what they're hearing. So they start hearing pans and pots and pans clanging, and they start hearing voices and start hearing steam hisses and things like that going on. And then a person would stop and go, "Who walked in front of the torch then?" No one. Somebody walked in front of the torch because I just saw a shadow walk straight past me. And the only way a shadow can be cast is if you walk between the torch and the person. Now, we were filming this obviously externally to prove that nobody walked anywhere near the light or anything like that. And then you start actually seeing the silhouettes of shadows of people moving, as well as hearing these voices. And it's almost like a very low resolution video kind of thing. That's the difference between a Gansfeld and the Estes method. I actually think the Gansfeld is more old school, and it is a lot more intriguing than just running
That's
something
true.
through. Because obviously, with skeptics and you're talking about technology and algorithms and stuff like that, there's always talk about these voice generators and things like that they could be saying things that are going to play. When you just got pure white noise, there's nothing to lead you in any specific direction, and the stuff that you get is absolutely mind-blowing.
So MJ, yes, we have been to the power station. Gary's got a great story about scaring people there. And the roundhouse we have been in as well.
Yeah. Problem with the roundhouse is there are people around that until such late hours or early hours of the morning. It's almost impossible to do any proper EVP stuff because there's people around the outsides that could be contaminating the evidence and things like that. Now, the power station, on the other hand, yes, I do have a good story about that. And that place you can't get into now. You used to be able to get into it, but you can't anymore because they've decided that a much stronger fence and then guard dog security is a much better deterrent, and they're 100% right. But in that building, there've been 4 murders and 11 suicides. Well, it was at least until the last time that we were in there, anyway.
And there residual energy coming off the.
Well, let me finish. What's happened is it used to be the power station where all of the Fremantle area was run from these massive generators that were inside the main generation building. But next to it is like the office and the admin section, and there's tunnels that go underneath it and things like that. Now, in the murders happened inside this tunnel, whereas most of the suicides happen by people flying up to the top of the generation area and doing a swan dive.
Not necessarily suicides. There has been accidental deaths there as well.
Yeah. Not murders as such, but a slip or something like that. But there have been some suicides and then some accidentals. But there's 11 of them at least documented anyway.
Not there'd be way more than that though.
Well, there's probably a lot more than that. But where was I going with this?
About the story and the residual energy.
Oh, yes, that's right. Fernando asked about residual energy. What happened was when they closed down the South Fremantle power station, just right next door to it, I'm talking within 50 yards, is a full operational substation now. And the amount of energy that's giving off, I'll give you an idea. We went down into the tunnel where the murders happened. They've actually blocked it off so you can't get to the actual point where the murders happen. But we went down into there, and I had a SLR with, the TTF flashes that you go on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was disconnected from the camera at the time, and just touching the wall with it, the concrete wall, you just touch that and you hear the actual camera the flash start to arc. It's going. So there is energy going through there. So there is always activity down there because there's that much energy. Things find it easier to manifest. And we've had a disembodied voice call out the name of an investigator when we were down there. We've had screams caught. We've had poltergeist activity, things thrown. Actually got them on film. And the problem is, because you're not allowed in there, we haven't actually been able to share any of it. Even if you put it down to undisclosed location,
they know where it is.
They know where it is. So, but getting to this story, we were in there this one night, and we just got the tail end of a cyclone down here. So it was really stormy. It was a Thursday night. So I thought, we're just going to go in, because we were actually in the throes of, we'd actually been accepted to do a TV show in America on Bio Channel. We'd already signed NDAs and things like that with the network, and we'd already discussed show fees and things like that. And we just wanted to get a bit of footage for ourselves. And we thought, there was about 4 of us, 5 of us, something like that. We thought we'll go in there. And to get in, it's easy to get through the cyclone fence, because 9 times out of 10 back then it was on the floor anyway. You just walk straight across the top of it. And the only way you could walk straight into where all the machines and everything were, the big high bit. But to get into the office section and then down into the tunnels where the murders took place, you had to climb through this window. Now, we'd done it that many times. We had this wooden box hidden in a bush, which obviously other people had found as well. So we'd put that there, climbed in and we were up on the first floor doing some investigation stuff. Now we were all under night vision, so no torches, just purely night vision stuff. You got to be careful there because there are a lot of holes in the floor, and if you're not watching, you can fall through. And these are big enough to fall all the way through, and basically has become one of Jeremy's accidental deaths. But
hey, it's not my death.
No, I know that, but you mentioned it, and it's very easy for that to happen. They've actually boarded over a lot of them, but obviously they get moved. Now, what happened was we were well into investigating when we actually heard these noises, and there were voices. So we sort of snuck to the window and had a look. So we were like, oh shit, if security come in, we're not going to get out. And we looked down, and it was two teenage boys and two teenage girls. And there were all this talk about how brave they are and how there's ghosts in here and, you know, it's going to be cool and this, that, and the other. Anyway, they'd gone in through the same window that we'd gone through. They'd even used our wooden box to get in. So we're like, we're not going to go down there. They may not come up the stairs. Now, if anybody who's been into the South Fremantle Power Station will know, there is an absolutely awesome staircase there that you go up, and then it sort of peels around into two different directions and goes further up. Now, if you go to the one to the right, there is a doorway into some rooms, and then it goes up a bit further to the top level. Now, we were in that room, and they were at the bottom of the stairs. Now, they were talking about, and they were either using their phone torches or they had their little the boys had a couple of little torches, which were ridiculously pathetic. Anyway,
like Gary's torches compared to mine.
Yes. Anyway, while we were up there, we knew what these guys were doing. They were sort of chatting these girls up to get them into a bit of a frisky kind of, hey, you know, let's have a little bit of spooky fun. And I'm talking about, you know, fun. Anyway, we're working their way up the steps, and we were under night vision. And I said, all right, I'm going to stay right beside the door. So I was stood right beside it wasn't a door, it's a doorway, I should say. And they come to the top, and they're all, oh yeah, well, you know, afraid of no ghosts, blah blah blah, you know, talking all this talk and shit like that. And what happened was, the first boy, he was in the doorway. He had stepped. I was this close to him, but his torch was down, and he was looking back, talking to his mate. So the torch wasn't anywhere near where we were. So I just sort of stepped right out in front. And as he's turned around, he's just come face to face with this noggin from about that close. And the pitch of the scream that this guy did, I don't even think you could capture on an audio device. All I know is dogs 3 suburbs over would have been barking it. It was that high pitched. He squealed like a squealy thing. Yeah. And which then made his other mates scream, and then the girls screamed, and we just lost our shit laughing. Anyway, what happened was, once they sort of leveled down, it's like, what are you doing here? Well, we're paranormal investigators. We're checking this place out. At that point, the girls were like, oh, well, we're here for ghost hunting as well. And because we had all the gear, all they had was a couple of torches. We had a couple of hangarounds for the next hour or so. These two boys were just totally cock-blocked. Couldn't do anything. We said, we're going to go now. We'll leave you guys to it. But, man, that was hilarious.
I love scaring people.
Oh, man.
Murders at the power station. I don't know. All I know is I can confirm there are records of 4 different murders, gangland and other things as well. You might be able to Google it. I don't know.
I'm sure there will be something, yeah.
There'll definitely be something there. And there's, yeah, like I said, last I heard there was 11 suicides or accidental deaths attributed to the main power station area there. But it's a hell of a place. You can still go past it now. It's heritage listed, and they can't actually do anything with it because of the levels of asbestos in there. So they have to clear it out. And of course, I'm just hoping that, because we didn't go in with breathing apparatus or anything, we just went in there and we did what we did. So hopefully we didn't get any on our lungs or anything like that. But yeah, those days are long gone. Wow, man, we've just gone down to 4, back up to 5. There we go. My story must have maybe they were listening in and they go, it was you. That's it. We're not gonna do that anymore. But yeah, the power station, we tried for a long time to get legitimate access to that place, and we would get through 4 or 5 different phone calls before we get told no every single time. And the same thing happened at the old Claremont Psychiatric Hospital, the Swanbourne Psychiatric Hospital. We got all the way through to a final phone call where it was a yes or no, and the preliminary information was coming back as it was going to be a yes. But what had happened was that same week, they signed a deal with a development company to turn it into an aged care facility. So at that point, it became a no because there'd been a signed deal. So we never got legitimate access to that place. I'm not saying we haven't been in there.
Actually, if you do Google about the murders around the power station, all it pretty much says is there is no evidence of murders at or around the power station.
Except for the big blocked off part.
It doesn't. No, there's no mention of that whatsoever. All it mentions is in 2016 where the guy died while doing stunts.
No,
that's it.
Oh, there were stories. I don't know.
I thought they had sold it on to a private person, private buyer.
They were supposed to be turning it into a community center.
Because at the moment, Synergy owns it, and the surrounding land is Western Power.
I don't know about the other one in East Fremantle. I didn't even realize there was one out that way, to tell you the truth.
And that closed down in what? 85.
I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. All I know is the graffiti on the side of that building. I don't know how some of those people got to those places to write that stuff. Oh, East Perth. Yeah, I would have loved to got in there, but never got the chance. So Mark said, yeah, he liked Claremont. It is. I do have footage inside that.
Wow, it seems location. Like MJ has been to a lot of different locations too.
Well, you see, a lot of it comes down to urban exploration, like what you're talking about, not so much, you know. And they're the better forums to get on if you want to find some of these places.
That's right now. That's my jam. I like to go to these abandoned places, and then while I'm there, is that I read into the history and everything. And I don't know, is that there's just a beauty with these decaying structures.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's very interesting. Very interesting.
But like I said, South Fremantle Power Station, we've got some awesome evidence from there. I have shared some of it many years ago. I don't have the originals now, so I'd have to try and find where they are on my system to upload them again. But if I do find them, I will put them up. But there was one where we were down inside that tunnel, and there were 5 of us. Sorry, there were 5 of us down there this one night, and one of the guys' names was Mark, and we got a disembodied voice on 2 different cameras going, "Fuck." And then the language that followed after that was ridiculous. So there's definitely a language warning if that video gets put up again. But yeah, that blew us away. And that's the same night that a marble was thrown at us, which is weird to be down in there, a marble, but it came at us from the blocked end, which has been concrete blocked. So you can't get access to the other side of it at all, which is where the murders took place.
Wow. Wow.
So I don't know how much is being covered up or whatever, but it was always well known that was the case.
Well, I
don't know if it turned out it was going to be an urban legend, but I can tell you one thing: there's definitely paranormal activity down there.
And for us going, that who enjoy going to these abandoned locations, just because it's abandoned doesn't necessarily mean that it's uninhabited. So there could be.
Yeah, the beauty of this is to get into the tunnel. There's only one way down and one way out, and we'd already searched the entire place to make sure we were the only ones in there, so we weren't going to get any pollution of evidence.
Yeah.
And we did this the whole session down there where we were doing our EVPs and things like that. When we were coming back up, we you've got to go up this rickety old oh there you go, I've just done that and I've paused it because I held my hand up. Do that again, it'll flash. Yeah, so going there we go. We got to the top and we knew there was no one down there because we'd just been there, and we heard this almighty smash and crash, and we were all straight because there was no one there. Now, this rickety old metal staircase that you have to only way in and out was getting rustier and ricketier, if that's an actual word, every time we went. And I think the last time it was holding on by about 3 pieces of rust. So we never went down it again after that. But it was a very interesting location. I wish we could get access to it, because you get footsteps in there. There was all sorts. And this one particular night where those kids came in, like I said, we got the tail end of this cyclone as well. So it was the energy from the storm, the kinetic energy from the storm. You've got the substation right next door. There was so much energy going in there.
Well, that was another place not far from the power station. Is you got the old soap factory, the Birdford soap tunnels. They're pretty. I've actually been in there, and it's a different feeling. It gets extremely small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small,
But
like
you can
like
still access that
lagoons
too.
or like caves,
Where's that again?
tunnels?
No, so it was an old tunnel that went out to the river from the soap factories, and apparently there was a disappearance of a young lady there as well. One of the people that Gary and myself know a while back, we actually went. Well, myself and this other person went there. It was to do with a cold case of some sort, and it wasn't a good feeling in that tunnel.
Yeah, and you've got the World War II tunnels in Fremantle,
Yes.
in North Fremantle. They're pretty good. Pretty good. We've had it's not as active, but it's certainly very atmospheric and definitely worth checking out. And they're more than happy to host paranormal teams if you ever want to go in there. You've just got to be very mindful of it being a small place. I wouldn't go in there with a big group because you're not going to get the chance to get any evidence without contaminating other people's evidence. So
That's sweet. And then you've also got the World War II remains on Rottnest Island as well.
Been in that tunnel, been in those tunnels as well.
So
I actually did a little video. I called it the Spirits of something Island or something like that. It's an old one, and it wasn't really an investigation video. It was just us walking down this really cool tunnel. It was brilliant.
So
Scary
I got a
as shit.
couple of questions from MJ and Dion.
Yep.
So have I ever been to a power station? Not necessarily a power station, but Kings Park Psychiatric Center was a self-sustainable
Complex.
yeah, it's like
Had its own powered regeneration stuff.
yeah, so I actually went in there. I have videos, and it's incredible how everything is still intact, due to how old the structure is and the fact that the weekend prior it was raining, the weather. I didn't want to get onto those steps. God knows my weight on top of wet steps in 100-year-old building doesn't seem like if it's the safest thing to do. But yeah, um, what I do when I go to these abandoned locations, I have masks, with filters. So, because there are a lot of black mold spores. I actually went into a room where it looks like a scene from I Am Legend. This room, there was
Oh, shit.
grass growing inside the building, like inside this room. There was grass, the walls. It was beautiful. Um, yeah, so asbestos was a big issue. It's actually one of the health issues, the reasons why Kings Park had to close down. Um, Have I ever been to Connecticut? Yes, I have. Uh, I'm sorry. Quick question. I've been to so many different places, but the house that we not need to say names, that's in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
The whole
So
pineapple saga started in or around a trip to Connecticut.
yes, yes, yes. I'm sorry.
Joe
I know.
Frankie is involved in a location in Connecticut. Obviously, that's where the Warrens come from as well. So,
Yes. Yeah. I've been to the Warrens resting place. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember the name of the cemetery, but we've been there. I've actually sat right in front of Ed and Lorraine's Warren tombstone. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place, that's for sure. That unfortunately I've just been to so many places I can't time and location place. It's all a blur.
Jeremy, MJ wants to know more about the soap factory.
I actually haven't been into a great deal of research into that soap factory itself. I'm guessing they made soap. The cold case itself, I didn't get given a huge backstory about that. It was just there was someone that was presumed to be in that area at the certain time of that something happened. Um, not much information I can go off with that because it wasn't my
Wasn't your lead.
wasn't my lead.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
That
what's
was
a fun
completely
fact?
for someone else that they were doing, and I, can't really disclose much. I know it's a case that is being closed, but it's not really my spot. Just out of
Fun
respect.
fact, last summer when I basically lived at Kings Park, um,
Yeah.
during that time, there was a couple of kids that were that disappeared, and I believe one of them was murdered during that time. I found that out a couple of months ago. I thought it was a nice little thing to share. So usually we were on a topic of, there's this theory about the 3 o'clock a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm just going to read this.
We'll check it out.
I'll quiet myself for a minute.
Gary can read.
Ooh,
Fancy
and
pants.
he's really concentrating.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Pants.
don't believe that paranormal activity happens only at that time. I do believe, however, that due to how probably during that time with the alignment of moons, the atmosphere, the energy coming off the earth during the AM hours is the same thing as so like if you're sick, you're more sick when you're sleeping in the middle of the night for some reason. If you have a stuffy nose throughout the day, it's fine, but when you're sleeping in the middle of the night, it's like you can't freaking breathe at all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that has something to do, and it probably amps up, but paranormal activity happens in whatever day and time.
Oh, it does. It doesn't matter what time. It's just that you're, I suppose, more susceptible to think about it at that time, being that it's been put into your head.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And I
Mm-hmm.
do also believe that entities are a bit, dare I say, psychic. They kind of know your intentions
Yeah. Sorry.
because, I've said this a bunch of times on my channel, but I don't, there's no reason why there are paranormal investigators, especially these big names. I understand they're trying to make a television show, but there's no reason whatsoever to fake paranormal activity.
No, there isn't any reason at all.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Very, very bad. But but yeah, it's just in these abandoned locations I have gotten Class A EVPs, and there is something about it being, that's my thing. Like when I go into these locations and I get EVPs, I think I like EVPs more than anything else because there's something about being in a room, and even if you're with somebody else, you knowing that it's you and that person, and you hear a third voice close by, there's just something awesome about it.
Mm.
Mhm.
But like I said, that EVP that we were talking about, that was, if anybody listens to it, and like I said, I'll share the link in the WAPA page when we finish this live stream. So go over there and have a watch of it, and it will renew your love in just going old school voice recorder camera, opposed to all of these apps and opposed to all of the gadgets and things like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes old school is simply the best.
And yes, our Kings Park really isn't much compared to the psychiatric complex that Fernando's
No.
been to. But if you know where to look and what to look for, you can find a hell of a lot about the Kings Park here that you probably don't even know about.
Well, definitely, yeah.
Especially when it comes to the 13 tree.
Yep.
And have fun going down that wormhole trying to find it, because it is not easy to find.
Kings Park over there.
Yeah. So they have a tree which is part of the 13 tree, which is Coven.
It is literally a park here. It's not
yeah.
like what you've got.
Yeah. There's a lot of homeless there. There's a lot of people that are going missing there. There's been a lot of occult practices through there. It's also on indigenous land. Yeah. It's a different spot. I wouldn't want to be there at midnight by myself.
I would say that, I have over 20 years within the paranormal field, and my best experiences all time, aside from my very first experience that got me into the paranormal field, everything else has been in Kings Park.
Yeah. I'm just looking at Louise's comments there about Auschwitz, and
I'd want to go.
I know people that have been there, and they reckon that the energy, you can feel it from a long way out, and it's supposed to be pretty strong. You don't even need to be a psychic to sense that stuff.
That's rough.
It is a place I would like to go. It's not going to be a joyful place to go, but it's an experience of very tragic history, and one that I would like to think we're learning from. But
no, history
with what's going on lately, I honestly don't think we've come that far.
Have you realized now, though, that since this whole war stuff going on with India and Pakistan, we've had no scam calls?
And no offers to fix my computer.
That's what I mean. Like, the scam calls are just gone down, man. I'm being 100% serious. I'm not the only one that's noticed it.
Oh, hang on.
But on that note, I do have to head off. I have work in the morning myself.
Yeah,
Gary, your camera is moving itself. Just be careful how far you go down.
That's what she said.
I'm going to leave you guys. See ya.
No, I'm going to have to go anyway because I've got stuff going on. So thank you, everybody, for joining in. Hopefully, we will have the chat working properly next time, so we can put all of the comments up on the stream itself. But until then, take it easy, and thank you all for tuning in. And we'll do some more live streams soon. See ya.
Bye.